Hello and welcome to our art presentation. Here you can see our topics. First, we started refining the art Bible. We did a colorimetry study. We take some screenshots of movies we like it and we analyze them in order to choose a final color palette that you can see in the screen. We are planning to color pick from this image to have a little bit more of freedom. We also choose the outline color depending if it's a hero asset or if it's just a background element. Then we went to a real-life research and we took pictures of cinemas that we like it, like the Moulin Rouge, the Lumiere Maastricht, and the Rexenbrink, and even more. Then we went to one of our biggest steps, the art test. We decided to take some inspiration from the art styles that we wanted to do and actually tested if we were able to replicate it right. We took the popcorn machine as inspiration and we decided to use the last version as our main art key. Then we did some guidelines like you can see, like Rufus for inspiration of a scale, some doors, and also the overlay layout for the UI in the mockups.
So next I want to show you the environment concepts that we created. We have 4 rooms in total and each room was made by a different artist. First we got the lounge, the main room of the cinema, and Sophia was in charge of designing both the main view as well as the view behind the counter. This is also where our beloved popcorn machine will stand. Then next we have the theater, where the player wakes up in the beginning, and Isabel used her 3D blockout to have the room be in perspective, and you'll be able to walk down in the middle to pass to the projector room. In here, Joanna also used the 3D blockout with a slight fisheye effect to create some depth. If you pay attention, you can spot many small details in this scene. Lastly, we have the ticket room, where tickets would be sold before entering the cinema. It's also the home of the cinema security system. To create this, I used the 3D mesh first, and then blocked out the composition of the room, and afterwards I created the concept.
We then moved on to our next big task, which was for each of us to create designs and concept art for the different machines in each room. And after the concepting stage, we created these simplified close-up mock-up shots, which were then easily implemented in Unity and are already testable. And here are some of the machines that you can see from the lounge, including some more close-up shots of the photo booth, for example, whenever a machine needs an extra interaction. And here are the machines in a ticket room, with a little bit of emphasis on that scrappy, lived-in feeling that you get from old movie theaters, with like the scratches on the fax machine and the different TVs of the security system. And here's the spotlight in the theater room with an up-close shot of the sockets and the hand, which this UI screen in particular is what the player interacts with during gameplay, so it was very important to implement it. And here are the final machines that the player finds in the projector room, with some details like the popcorn mascot in the walkie-talkie and the more anatomical feel of the breaker box.
Getting into the player character. Based on this walk cycle by William Gedea and inspired by Rufus, the protagonist of the Chaos on Deponia games, Mips made a rough mock-up for our character that is meant to be replaced by the actual character animation later. As you can see, there is a 3/4 view and a profile view for the prototype. The character design is based off on information from the designers. The character is a half journalist, half eldritch monster. The design is meant to merge both of these concepts in an uncanny way. Something about her is supposed to be just slightly off. For our game, we want to use post-processing effects within Unity. After some research and tests in Engine, we decided to use a slight film grain over the entire scene to tie in the thematic of the movie theater. We also want to do different color grading for mood shifts happening in the story, and chromatic aberration and bloom effects for dreamier, more out-of-this-world moments. And that's it. Thank you for listening.